Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Card Craft. Thanks for joining me again today. Week 8, playing with paper and glue, choose 6 challenge. We're back at it. So, our week 8 prompts. Now, this is the challenge that is being done through the Playing with Paper and Glue Facebook page. It's a great challenge. Come and join us. We really want to see what everybody else is doing, so come join. All right, week 8 prompts. Postcard, once again, sorry, I've nicked Lynn's prompts. It's so much easier. Postcard, library card, domestic animal, lace or ribbon, angel, and gesso. There you go, 6 of them, all in one project. Doesn't have to be a collage, doesn't have to be a specific item. It can be anything you want it to be, but one project. So all 6 items, one project. Now, as I said last week with mine, what I will be doing is something for the whatever journal that I'm working on, which is still this one from last week. Almost finished it. Signatures are now sewn in. That was yesterday. I can probably take those off now. So signatures are sewn in. That is ready now to start decorating, popping in my tags, redecorating a few pages, etc. What I want to do today is this page. So I want a journal card in here, and I will probably pop other things on here. Whether I get time for that one during this one or not is another thing coming. So for this, I want a journal card. Well, kind of a journal card. I have in my mind vaguely what I want. So this is what I've pulled out for this challenge. So I have my postcard. Now, this would have been from a digital. It's been copied out or, printed out, so it's on white paper. So I need to cover this anyway. And to make it a little bit more firmer, because it's fairly flimsy at the moment. But it does fit nicely if I pop her down with my flowers, because this journal is all about flowers. Blah. We'll start that one again. This journal is all about flowers, florals, botanicals, things like that. So I want this page, this part of the postcard up. So I'll just move my journal again. So postcard, flowers, I want up the top. Set that to the side. I have found my domestic animal because I really worried with how I would get that in this journal. But when I went through all my stamps, look what I found. So that, of course, will end up here. Yeah, that's not hard. All right, got that one. My flowers, I will write at the end. I want to pop some glossy accents on just to give them some dew drops. But that needs to then dry, so that'll be right at the end. Please remind me if I haven't done it. Library card. Now, I didn't have a library card. There is a stamp set that I want from Darkroom Door that's got a library card, and I kept saying, oh, yes, I'm going to get that. Still haven't got it. Well, now I could have done with it. You know me and stamps. But what I did have was in one of my older books that I'd purchased last month, and I only got this book for one reason. On the inside page, apart from where it had been in the library, it had this. And on one of the other pages, it had the little pocket for the library card to go into. Not using that one. I'm going to use him for something else. But I am going to use this because technically, it's library orientated. It does say it's library equipment down there. So can I get away with it? I'm hoping. And I will pop some dates on that. But because I didn't want to use my one and only one of these, I have copied it out in colour. I did copy it in black and white to start with, but I didn't like it, so I just recopied it in colour. So I'm going to use this, and because I want it a little bit larger, which is why I've done it on these. Now, I need an angel. You know me and cutesy, I didn't have any other angels, but what I did find in an old 6x6 pad, or 6.5 by 6.5. They had little cherubs, and they're cherubs, they're not angels. So I really didn't think I could get away with it. But what I'm going to do is chop out the wings and attach them to my lady. Well, that'll cover it, won't it? Yeah, right. That's the plan for that one, so that she becomes that. My due date library card is this. What I want to do is turn this postcard into a journaling card, but I want it to have a fold. You know me, I like all my folds and all the rest. My due date is going to be my fold, and then I want the back of that covered, I'm thinking, with a piece of that. My lace and ribbon and my gesso are the only ones I haven't got solidly in my head. So as we play, we'll work those out. I've got them here. I've got a lace, I've got some broderie on glaze, and I've got my gesso. So I'll stop yabbling and we'll get stuck onto this. So, as I said, I want this as my fold for the back of this one. Now she's going to go that way. Pull that out of the journal. Open it like that. I want the fold to go that way. So think about this, Kylie. That's going that way to lift open. I need this bit as my fold section. Just a matter of rethinking. Sorry if I'm a little bit brain dead. I've just finished work and it's Friday. Yay, 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 yay. So I'm just lining that up with my ruler at this stage so that I can then take it across to give me a little bit extra to make the fold. Do you see what I'm doing? Am I actually in shot? Yes, I am. Right, so my fold line will go down here. So at this stage, I just want to trim that off the rest of that page. And my fold's going down there. So I'm just going to crease it a little bit with, actually, I will use, this. It needs to be the same height as that. So it's going to need to be a little bit longer, isn't it? Trim that up to size to start with, or close to. So it's going to need to go down there. See, I'm all over the show today. I have had coffee. That has helped. Right, so I know I've got a straight edge along here. Just going to trim it down a little bit so that it'll fit in my scoreboard. Wow, Kylie. Come on, girl. Get with it. Get with it, get with it, get with it. Right. So I've got there and I've got there. I'm just, once again, set my ruler on that so that I've got that dead on. Now I'll shuffle that over. Oh, look at me go. Not happening today, is it? That one, that's round about, that's fairly close. Right. Just very lightly, because it is only copy paper and I don't want it to rip. So now I bend this back on itself, that I've scored it. I'll give it a crease. Which will technically create my fold, won't it? Am I on the right side? I'm on the right side, because I want, lift that up, turn that over, have that there. That'll be stuck in there. Need to do something with that side as well, won't I? And I'm thinking I want a pocket of some sort in here, but I don't want to make it too fat. So this will be stuck down, and I can stick him down first so that that's evened. Like so. So you can see the thought process going today. Maybe I could just ink that. I might just ink that one. Right, so we'll glue this one down first. So I haven't done anything really this week. Even my glue hasn't been used for days. Just had one of those weeks, you know. We all get them. It's not that I'd lost my mojo or anything else. It was just that life impeded. And the desk was a no-go zone for a week. Which is just sad. All right. Here we go. A little bit of glue. Mainly right against that fold line, because the rest of it will hold that down. So, alright, once we start, we'll be right. You can always fast forward all this nattering to start with, can't you? I'm going flower side, that one, to that one. I want to even that up. Then I can shuffle it along so that I'm even. Yep. Fairly even. Nothing a little bit of inking won't fix later on. So that'll fold in beautifully. This one's going to go on there. So I need this. I need it a lot wider than that. Fit in there. I make a mark round about here. Chop that. Now this was a digital from, and I do remember, I'm trying to think, Artsology. From their mixed bundle, I think was what it was from. So this will fit in here nicely. I can go all the way down to that, which means I won't get much of that. That's fine, because it's mainly this, so that you've got this for journaling on. Make sense? I'm going to glue that bit. Just get a glue sheet out. And I'll just use this one. Won't use that one. That was the empty one. And that takes a bit of mucking around with video. So we'll use the new one. There we go. Pick that up. All right. I will go back to that empty one. That's fine. And use that, but just not on camera, because it does take a bit to muck around with. Right. Sit you up there. Should I go over that? Right onto that fold. Before I push that down too much, I'll just fold that over and then I can smooth it out. Now that's given a little bit more oomph to that postcard, because it was only a very flimsy one to start with. Right, so that can now be trimmed all the way around and trimmed to size. So what we're going to do to start with is I'll trim this section off and even all that bit up. So if I go down here just to the edge of the postcard, and that'll trim everything up to size. Same with the other side. See, I'm being a sponge, I like that, so I'll just take this bit off before I lose too much of that writing, because I will use that. I will use that and lots of other things. Sure. All right, now I'll go here, up along this one. All right, so this is not quite as wide as my postcard, but I'm not concerned about that. I don't mind if my flips are not the same size. So I want that at the library card sides, and I'll give some inking to the edges. I take it just a little bit over and down there. Right, So what I've got is my postcard. Yes, it's going to curl, but it'll come back. That's fine. And then I've got that on the other side. This can be journaling. I have a little pocket down here. Need to do something with this. So while my mind is thinking, I'm just going to run that round with my brushed corduroy. Just tends to allow me to move it around in my hands and think what I need there and what I need there. So, and on the inside, same thing, just to even it all up. Gives it a bit more grunge, which is, for me, what I like in my journals. Probably don't need it down there. This one I'm just going to fold back on itself, just very lightly. I don't want to tear it or ruin any of that. Right, so that's given it that look. Now. That's that one. I want a pocket along there for that, but I need to still play with my gesso and my lace. I may even do a lace pocket. We'll have a think about that one. Right, back to my postcard. I can adhere my little puppy dog up here, like so. That one's nice and easy, see? When in doubt, that's the wrong glue. I'm going to have to just move that over there. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep picking it up, aren't I? All right, and you can see where I've steamed this off last night when I started pulling these out, when I saw the prompts come up. All right. Whoops. So, have you joined Playing with Paper and Glue yet? It's an awesome group. Then we'll put out these prompts each week. You can either follow her prompts because, let's face it, we've all got 1,001 decisions anyway, or you can go into the events tab and you will see the full list of prompts and you choose 2 from each column. Let's have a look and see if this works. It was a really good idea at the time and my daughter actually gave me the idea. So we'll see if it works. If it doesn't, we're back to square one. Just need to cut around that. Whether they're too small or not as well. I had some others, but they all only had one wing. I'm just going to chop into the shoulder of that so that I can work out where I then need to put it. Yes, see, they might work. This one's a very funny looking wing though. So let's have a look. All right. Oh, that's a tiny wing looking at that, isn't it? All right. Well, see, that'll work. Yes. Can her wings be up there? I suppose they can. So, now that I can see where she is, if I go off that corner down to about there, I can rub all these out. That's going to go up and down. All right, so let's see what we've got. Otherwise, see, I should have done that before I covered the postcard. And so I should have just slit in her shoulders and then I could have sat it in. That works? Yes? Should have just cut in there and slit them in, shouldn't I? So, I need a little bit more off that. Like so. Do that 1,000 times, couldn't I? That one's better. Right. Lost it. Let's get one of these wings on before I lose them completely. But I just need to go there and there. And we'll use the white glue this time to make sure it's completely adhered down. And I need to get rid of that pencil mark. Like so. Right. Just a little bit of glue. I don't want it to smear everywhere. And I need to lift that up. Just going to use my tweezers on this. Should have a spot that I was. About there. 'Tis now. Not really. It's fine. Right. This one, and I know I haven't inked it yet. Yes, no? I don't know. I don't know now that I'm doing it. Just, yeah, no, I don't know. Oh, well. It is what it is now. There's no going back. Need to chop a little bit of that off for her shoulder. Oh, that's shocking, Kylie. That's just shocking. It'll do. Maybe I could drape her with lace or something. There you go. And then I can get the lace in there. And then I won't see it as badly. Because I think that's just a tad bit shocking. Oh, well. Some, a little bit of glue. Stop agonising over it and just put it down. Like so. She's kind of an angel. All right. So, over to here. I want to put some... So, I will need this one. Now, I can't get very old ones. What's the earliest I can get? 1994, 95, 93, 92. 92 is the earliest. So, okay. Away. They're never, ever, they would have been done in black. But that's Bertha, isn't it? Oh, wow. So, they're never even. I'll just keep changing them over. Oh, no, because you're not going to have the same date each time, are you? So we'll go 4th of December. Yes. I've gone into 93 now. And wasn't a very red book. How's that? There you go. That's as much as... Does that look like a library card? Okay, so there's that one. That was my inks just falling down. Sorry. We'll just put them to the side. I want to ink the back of that one. Move that. So I'm just going to go with my antique linen to start with, as per normal, which just gives me that slightly older look. Yellowed, I suppose, would be the best look for it. And it just gives that yellowed, but I just want to go slightly motley, because this at the front, you'll see that this is how it's printed out. So it's got that mottled look anyway. So we're just going to recreate exactly the same thing on this side. So it's not completely yellowed. Just very lightly dabbing a little bit of ink and then scrolling across more or less like so. And then just to make it a little bit more grungy and handheld and all the rest, I've picked up my blending tool now that has my brushed corduroy on it. And I'm just giving it a little bit more colour. And I'm going down my edges just to give it some colour. Like so. Okay. And that's just given that mottled kind of look. Better put the pin back in the glue and we'll wipe that. Right. Put the lid back on that one. So, I've got that. I need my pocket down here. Let's have a think. Do I want a larger pocket than that? This is the Broderian glaze that I had sitting in here. Do a pocket with that on it. That's fairly light. Whereas this, I love this lace. It's an old vintage lace. But it is still fairly thick because it's a thicker cotton that they've used. But it is very nice, isn't it? So if I do it slightly smaller. Haven't got any gesso in here yet, have I, girls? Alright, so we'll trim you up, make you slightly smaller. There's my lace. If I use the bottom, look! Would that be an angel? How would I not work that one out? I wanted to use that. Let's go down here just in case I need to use it. And we'll just take it up there, like so. Alright, so we'll trim that bit off. Oh, wow. See, never even looked over there for that one. We'll take that bit off. And we'll take this bottom section off. Like so. And then I'll just trim that to the size of that lace. Which is going to be around about that. Anyone see what I did with my pencil? About there. And I want that section. Now I only want my pocket as wide as my lace. So it's going to be round about there. And straight off. Like so. So there's my pocket section with my lace on there. So I've used my lace. I know it's smaller, but that's fine because I want this to fold fairly flat, which it does. So that's okay. Right. Just highlight my pocket. Again, it's only been done on copy paper. I haven't printed it in my presentation paper that I quite often do. It's just been printed out in the copy paper, so it's fairly fragile. So we'll adhere our pocket on first. Bit of glue on all three sides. If the glue's going to come out. Just not gonna, is it? There we go. Here it comes. Problem solved. Or not. It's in there. I can see it. Just doesn't like the paper. There it is. Right, now we're cooking with gas. Or gluing with glue. Alright, so if I even that one and sit it up a little bit, about there. I've given it a little bit of a bulge so it's not too hard to sit anything in. See, I don't know if you can see, if I flatten that, you'll see that the top bit sits up, the bottom bit is flat. And all I've done is when I've pushed it on, squeezed it down there and then squeezed it towards itself a little bit at the top. And it just allows things to slide in a little bit easier. That one will go on with that. And so I'm just going to use my fabric glue. And I'll just run it straight across the top of my pocket. And I find it's easier once my pocket's actually on. So straight down. This is just a clear glue. Again, here it comes. Doesn't need much. Right. That's about all that's going to need for that one. Set you over there. And it'll still give you time to move things around. I use this glue so much, which is why it's in such a huge bottle. Right, so use my lace. Should I be ticking my things off as I go? Right, so I've got my pocket in there, which technically I know wasn't part of the deal for today, but I need flips and I need pockets with everything. So, here's my postcard. Here's my domestic animal. Turning it over, here's my library card. Oh, there's my angel. There's my lace and my ribbon. Need my gesso. Right, so I've got numerous ideas for my gesso, but I haven't ended up doing any of it, have I? So maybe I could stencil with it up here. That would look nice, but I don't want it too dark because I want this as a journaling area. So let me think. Technically, this is in my floral album. I could put some flowers. Bear with me. Brainwave. It happens, not often, but sometimes. So, right, so I've just pulled out florals, small. I'll just open them up. And all I really need, let's have a look at some colours that are on her. Do I have roses? That rose might be nice, mightn't it? Right, so normally with a rose like this is one of the Tim Holtz roses. So see how they're shiny? Quite often what I will do then is, because I'm not into the shiny, is I will sand them down, which will allow the ink to go around them. I will use permanent inks and this little brush to go around the edges to get rid of my white, or I'll use gesso. So if this little guy is adhered here, I've still got this as a journaling, another little tuck in here. This nicely adheres in here, and then I can finger gesso over it just to lighten it down, can't I? But I'm still going to sand it a little bit. So down here, got my sanding block, and I'm just going to see how it grunges it up. Because they're too shiny for me, they're too bright, but that's just me. It's what I do with mine. So I just want to lighten it up. But then I'm going to still use my gesso, get rid of that. And I'm going to, I've got I'm doing really well. Stipple brush, yay! I've got a stipple brush there that I can put on, but I might just put a little bit on and then finger over it to bring it down a little bit lighter. So that was, see, sometimes if they're sitting out in front of you, that's all you need. And over you, if you're working with everything else, just work with the things that you can think of to start with. And then as you're working, 9 times out of 10, something will crop up for whatever else it is that's sitting on your desk, because you're not trying desperately to get your head around just one item. And the more you try and think of one item, more often you will get writer's block, journal block, whatever you want to call it. So just do it bit by bit, and quite often you'll find the solution will come up. Right, so there's my rose. Oh, they were from the ribbons. Right, pushing that down. A little bit of gesso. I don't think I've got any in there. Let's get a little bit on there. Just so that there's not too much on there. So I'm just going to run it in See, I'm doing a bit of both. So I'm doing a little bit of stippling and then a little bit of finger smudging just to lighten it down even further. Just to give it that really worn, I suppose would be the best look for it. It's just a really worn look. I find that's the most I use my gesso with. I might use it with stencils a little bit of the time, but for most parts, I'll use it just to tone something down. That's an image that I love, but it's just way too bright, or the colours are not right for what it is that I'm working on at that time. So see how that's now been brought right down. So it was similar to that. Okay. So now it all tones in with the things that I do. Just a little bit more over there. And what I want to do, this is just about, this is why my hands are always dirty. Just going around those edges a little bit more. I'm not minding that I'm going out here. And I'm thinking I might actually give that a border around with that gesso. And I need a little bit more in there. Don't want too much. So now I just use my head. That's fine. I want like a halo type thing around it is what I'm working on. If that works. I know what I mean. I know what I mean. Without it stippling too much around my rose. Right, so, and now to finish off, see, I love playing with inks and paints and all the rest. Now, I want my standard tree branch, which is a permanent ink. And I'm just going to very lightly go back in on this and tone up my white edges. So this is just one of the blender brushes. I will forever play and go further. So what I'm doing is just around the edge, just giving it that halo where I've got the gesso. And now I'm going around it with the brown. It's just me. You know, it was fine to start with once we gessoed it a little bit, but I just want to give it that edging. And what I want to do now, just to finish this off, is in a very light colour. So, what have I got? If I shadow stamp, actually, we'll very quickly finish that off with some shadow stamping. I want some script or something on there. So let's just grab some script. Let's have a look. Running out of space. Let's put those flowers away before I lose all those. I'll set them back over there where they belong. Right. I want a script. Maybe that one. Might be too big. That one. Pull it out. Set that one over there. Right. Move that. Move that. I don't want any dark ink because I don't want it to go through. So what I'm going to do is find a piece of scrap paper. There we go. And I will shadow stamp. So it's double stamping. Different companies call it different things. Way back when I first got into it, it was just called shadow stamping. So you ink up your stamp, you stamp it, and then with the ink that's left on there, you can stamp that. So it was like a shadow of the initial ink. Colour-wise, I might use that tree branch again. Let's just have a look. So, do we have an up and a down? I think it's that way. So I'm not using a block. I'm just using my fingers so that it goes like so. Just very lightly. I want to get rid of most of my ink so that I'm just lightly getting that background. Okay, but without getting too dark an ink on it. A little bit more, because if I use this with the full ink that would be inked onto it, it would run the risk, especially because it's just copy paper, it would run the risk of showing through onto that side, and that would ruin the effect of that library card part. So now I've just got, so what was plain, right? So you got to remember that was just that. Because it's the back of that one. So that's what it was. So you can see how with a little bit of ink and playing around, yes, we've put a rose in there and we've put a little bit of gesso, but the rest of all that has just been done with inks. So there's my postcard. There's my postcard. Happy with that. Move that one over there, move that one over there, move that one over there. Pull out my journal again. We're not going to have time to do the little bit down here, but, and this will flatten. It's just that it's been the glue stick. This should fit in here, like so. Beautiful. I will play around with this bit off camera now. But so here's my postcard for my week 8 challenge. So postcard, tick. Angel, yeah, well, it's a tick, but it's not a very good tick. Domestic animal, yes. Library card, so when I turn it over, I have my flip with my so-called library card. I've got my flip, which I have to always have, don't I? My little bit of lace, that'll have a tag in that, and I still need to think about that, but technically I've used my time allotment and my choose 6 gesso, which I've ended up with on here, my lace and my ribbon. So how's that for my week 8 prompts? The only other thing, of course, that I wanted to do was play around with my glossy accents, and what I want to do is pop some dewdrops on there. So I just want them to be straight again, and all they're going to do, this is, look, it's a dimensional product, so you can use it to glue, but it'll give you like a resin-like finish if you want to make things shiny. So, but for me, what I love is to actually get it to work. I had a pin here. There it is. Because I was using this not long before I started to make sure that it was running. All right. So, just little dew drops, but it takes a little while to dry. Normally, if I'm covering something in glossy accents, I will do it last thing of the night so that it's got the evening to dry. So this won't be uploaded now for a while because I'll need to take photos when it's dry. So I'm just, I don't know if you can see them on camera. So they're literally just popped on there, just little dewdrops like so. But so at the moment they're a little bit milky. When they dry, they will dry crystal clear. Okay. And yes, look, you could go forever with them and just keep going. But let's stop there, shall we? All right, done. So this was our week 8. There's a lid here for this somewhere. There it is. This is our week 8 for the Playing with Paper and Glue Choose 6 Challenge. If you want to join in, and we'd love you to join in, don't forget hashtag PPG Choose 6 Challenge so that we can all see. Please join the Facebook page. It's a great page. We have lots of fun. Everybody's nice. And then if you are doing the challenge as well, don't forget to pop it up in the events tab or just on the page so that we can all see. Enjoy doing this or just follow along at home with me here. Thank you all for doing it. Thank you for watching me. Thanks for those of you that have subscribed lately, for all the subscribers that I've already got. If you like this video, don't forget to like. Till next time. Thanks, guys. Happy crafting. Bye.